we're pulling together as a family.
Classmates of a Georgetown College football player are mourning his death. Now the college is making sure they have someone to talk to.
A man charged in connection to a toddler's death says he won't take a plea deal. What he had to say to a judge today.
We'll have to wait and see what University of Louisville Board of Trustees has the ability to take action, why a lawsuit against the governor cannot move forward yet.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. A tragic blow to a Central Kentucky campus. Friends and family and classmates are mourning the death of a Georgetown College football player.
Sophomore Colson Mocklet passed away Monday from injuries he suffered in a fall. The college is making grief counselors available tonight to students and staff. They'll be at the chapel from 6 to 8 on campus. Andrea Walker is talking to students about the loss in our top story at 5:30.
Sarah Beth Marlowe, a senior at Georgetown College, tells us that while she didn't know Colson personally, she knows he was well liked and well known on campus.
It definitely creates a big impact when something like that happens on the campus, especially being so small. We're only just over 1,000 people, I think, so even if you didn't know someone, you have friends who knew him or just in that environment in general, it makes a big impact on a small campus.
It's that tight-knit bond that comes with attending a small campus that Student Wellness Director Megan Reddit says they'll depend on now more than ever.
People are leaning on each other, united in the fact that we are a family at Georgetown College. We love one another, and so we're pulling together as a family.
Another tight-knit group on campus is the football team, which Colson was a part of. Freshman Andy Harkins tells us he and his teammates are still shaken and in shock.
We thought everything was going to be okay. Then the next day that we had a meeting in the chapel at 11:30, just a surprise meeting, and they broke the news to us, and a bunch of our players broke down because, I mean, he was, from what I can gather from all my teammates, he's a really good guy.
Well, there's no question this is an absolute tragedy. The students we spoke with today said there is something we can learn from this loss.
Just be safe and just try to have fun in college, I mean, but just be smart about it.
It's really devastating that that happened, but I do think it serves as some sort of reminder just to live boldly and live for something greater, do something with our lives. Like, he can be as an inspiration in that way.
In Georgetown, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Georgetown police say they suspect alcohol was involved, but they believe the fall was just an accident.
He says he will not agree to a plea deal. Brian Gallagher is charged with murder and criminal abuse in the 2010 deaths of a Rowan County toddler. The 2-year-old was the son of his then-girlfriend. Jones entered a guilty plea last week to 2 counts of criminal abuse, but Gallagher says he wants a trial. Sean Moody's at the live desk. He was in the courtroom today when Gallagher told the judge that. Sean?
Hey there, Sam. This case goes all the way back to 2009. That's when 2-year-old Nathaniel Jones died. Kentucky State Police arrested his mother, Tia Jones, and her boyfriend, Brian Gallagher, in 2010. Now, last week, Jones entered an Alford plea. Today, Gallagher's attorney asked for a trial date. On Friday, Jones entered an Alford plea to 2 charges of second-degree criminal abuse. She had been charged with murder and criminal abuse, but the charges were amended down as part of that agreement. The Alford plea means Jones maintains her innocence, but agrees there is enough evidence to convict her. Now, there'd been some confusion about Gallagher's side of the case. He's charged with murder and criminal abuse. Court paperwork said he was entering a plea on Friday as well, but he said that was not correct. He told us Friday that he had no intention of pleading guilty because he says he's innocent. That hearing was continued today, and the judge set a trial date.
We're going to need a trial date.
All right. Of course, I understood we were scheduled to plea, but so we've reached some other issues at this time together, so a little concerned about that given our scheduling and how far this case has gone along. But all right.
Now, Gallagher's father said his son has always maintained his innocence. The judge set that trial for February. At the live desk, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. The recommended sentence for Tia Jones was 4 years for each count of criminal abuse. She'll serve those sentences back to back. New tonight, a sentencing hearing for a Perry County doctor and his wife has been pushed back. In April, a federal jury found James Ace Cheney and his wife Lisa guilty on nearly 200 counts. The two were convicted of drug distribution, health care fraud, and money laundering. They were supposed to be sentenced this month. It's now been scheduled for November 14th. Some of the convictions carry sentences of up to 20 years in prison.
A coroner has identified the body found inside a toolbox floating down a western Kentucky creek. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Grayson County. The coroner there says they used dental records to identify the body as 29-year-old Tromaine Jerome Mackall. Police say Mackall had just moved to the area from Maryland. The coroner says his cause of death is asphyxiation. Earlier this month, police say someone found the body in a toolbox in the Spring Fork Creek. Mackall had been reported missing on July 24th. In Floyd County, police are investigating a deadly crash. Prestonsburg police say a car and a truck collided this morning on Kentucky 114. One of the drivers, 89-year-old Myrtle Chaffins, was taken to the hospital where she died. Police say the other driver, 73-year-old Ishmael Hackworth, had minor injuries.
It just sounded like metal. I mean, it was a horrid sound. It sounded like just parts flying, metal flying everywhere.
Witnesses told police that Hackworth was driving east when a car cut across in front of him. As of now, police do not plan on filing any charges. And in Campbell County, a judge says he will rule on a convicted murderer's request for new trial within a week. The judge heard arguments in the Shayna Huber's case yesterday afternoon. A jury convicted her last summer of killing Ryan Poston. Her lawyers ask for a new trial because one of those jurors is a convicted felon.
Now, hopefully you're enjoying the September-like weather because August is coming back and we're tracking some steamy, stormy weather. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hi, guys. And on the way over the next few days, Sam, the steam and the scattered thunderstorms, story of the summer and the story of the next week and change. Not so fast, though. That is not what we're talking about for the evening upon us. We look outside, low 80s, 82 London into Lexington, Jackson checking in at 81, a mix of sun and some clouds out there, and those clouds are coming from the west and the southwest. They're high-level clouds for the most part. Should be a very fiery sunset for a lot of folks out there. Hey, it has rained today into parts of western Kentucky, western Tennessee. That is on the leading edge of that surge of tropical moisture that is going to move back in. Tropical temperatures especially in the thread for some scattered storms. Out this evening, boy, it's a nice one again. Cool temperatures by 11, a lot of upper 60s to low 70s coming your way. But here comes the steam as temperatures take a little turn toward the very toasty side of the thermometer. And yeah, scattered thunderstorms fight back into the overall weather picture. It's not going to be one of those patterns where it rains all the time, but each and every day over the next 6-7 days, we're talking about that daily threat for a boomer or two. When I come back here in a little under 10 minutes, we're going to show you exactly when the first threat for thunderstorms arrives. Guys, a brand new hour-by-hour forecast will time at least some scatter stuff in for the day on Wednesday.
Thank you, Chris. A reminder tonight that a group of Kentuckians is pitching in and collecting donations for flood victims down in Louisiana. They started a drive called From the Bluegrass to the Bayou. You can drop off items at the 4 Fork Bank locations in Lexington, the Kentucky Farm Bureau, and Central Bank in Nicholasville. Organizers plan to take the items to Louisiana on Friday. And for the four-legged flood victims, Helping Hounds Find Homes in Cynthiana is collecting everything from hay bales to cat food to help animals affected by all the flooding. Donations can be dropped off at the southern states. They plan to leave for Louisiana tomorrow.
New tonight, the legal battle over the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees has hit a delay. Attorneys for Governor Bevin and Attorney General Andy Beshear were back in court today. Governor Beshear is suing the governor over his executive order reorganizing the U of L board, and both sides were supposed to have expert witnesses testify in court next week. Those witnesses were supposed to talk about if Governor Bevin's actions could harm U of L accreditation, but Governor Bevin's attorney said their witness backed out. The judge told both sides he hoped the two sides would have come to an agreement by now about an interim board. The hearing has been postponed now until September.
A lot of the good questions we receive from you, our viewers, are about roads. And the one in question tonight is a key link between two pretty fast-growing communities. Dwight has our good question tonight. Is US 25 in Lexington to Georgetown ever going to be upgraded to 4 lanes? Right now, US 25 is 4 lanes from the Fayette-Scott County line into Georgetown. It's only 2 lanes from Spur Road in Lexington to Ironworks Pike near the Scott County line. I contacted the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Natasha Lacey, Public Information Officer, says it will be a few more years before this project goes to construction. It is currently in the design phase and has been on reserve for a period of time. It will take, she says, about 3 to 4 months to update and finalize the plan, and the plan would then move to the right-of-way phase when funding becomes available. By the way, the average daily traffic count, she tells me, last year on US 25 was a little more than 16,000 vehicles. Dwight, thanks for your good question. To submit a good question, send an email to goodquestion@wkyt.com.
Travelers in Lexington will have a new place to fly to all year round. Still ahead on WKYT News, what upgrades the Bluegrass Airport is making.
I'm Bill Bryant. Countywide wet-dry elections are about to wrap up in 2 places this evening. Hillary Clinton deals with more email fallout, and Donald Trump delays a major speech. The bottom line is on the way.
I'm Kristen Kennedy in Lexington. At 6, we'll tell you how police caught a man wanted for 2 rapes.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Thousands of emails from an investigation into Hillary Clinton will soon be released.
And Donald Trump is pushing back his speech on immigration. Bill Bryant tells us why in the bottom line.
Good evening. Polls close shortly in 2 Kentucky counties that have been holding county-wide alcohol elections today. In Boyd County, the special election was held after the city of Ashland tried to stop it with a court challenge. But a judge rejected the city's concerns about the wording of the question and the potential impact it could have on revenue for Ashland. In Casey County, voters are also at the polls deciding wet or dry, and the voting continues until 6 p.m. local time. 15,000 emails that Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton did not voluntarily turn over to the State Department will now be released in the weeks leading up to the election. A judge has ordered a speeded up timetable. On late night TV, Clinton joked that her emails are boring, but it's obvious the issue will be hanging around during the campaign. And West Virginia's Democratic nominee for governor, Jim Justice, now says he won't support Clinton for president. Justice is a billionaire businessman whose interests include coal mining. Justice says he can't be for Clinton over her energy proposals. Republican Donald Trump has delayed a speech on immigration that had been set for this Thursday. Campaign manager Kellyanne Conway told Fox News it's because Trump is trying to get a better handle on the complex issue. Trump is in Texas this evening, where he is expected to talk about border security at a rally there. President Obama has been in Louisiana today, checking on the federal response to the historic flooding there. The president has been criticized by some Republicans for not cutting short his family vacation to head to Louisiana sooner. More on all of that on the CBS Evening News later. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Bluegrass Airport in Lexington is making it easier for people to travel.
That's right. Today, airport leaders announced they will soon be offering daily year-round flights to Minneapolis-St. Paul. Originally, the flight is only offered from June through October. The expanded flight schedule will connect travelers with more than 45 domestic and international destinations. The new flights will be on an upgraded aircraft with first-class options and Wi-Fi. The change begins on August 28th.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
You know, you step outside on a day like this, you look at that sky, and it is absolutely awesome looking, and then all of a sudden you realize, you know what, it still feels really good out here. Take a live look outside, and we're looking toward the fine city of Winchester, and mix of sun and some high clouds that are out there. Low 80s, humidity, not bad, 45%. We'll take that all summer long. Problem with that is it's not going to last as we go through the next 24 hours. That humidity and the temperature will begin to both rise. Low 80s across the entire region this afternoon. Nice weather. Defender radar network, nothing to show you for the second day in a row. At least across central and eastern Kentucky. Western Kentucky had a little rain out there. And look at all the clouds that are out there. You've got a lot of shower and thunderstorm action trying to bubble up on the leading edge of some of that warmer and juicy air that is coming in from the western part of the Gulf of Mexico. And a system dropping in from the northwest. Those two are going to kind of hook up to give us some scattered thunderstorms over the next few days as that tropical influence in terms of the humidity and the temperatures will be really settling on into town. Hour by hour through 11 this evening, we're okay. Look what happens tomorrow, though. With an increase in humidity, anyone's going to be fair game for at least an isolated to scattered thunderstorm as the day goes on. Similar setup into the day on Thursday as well. The ACs are going to be back to running overtime into the especially afternoon hours. Models are going to be a little overcooked in terms of temperatures. You got a wet ground. You've got a little in the way of some cloud cover and some scattered thunderstorms, which I think they're trying to miss the boat on a little bit as we go into the next couple of days. But again, upper 80s to around 90. A good likelihood for the next several days. What about those rain chances? At no point can I look at any one day and say rain is likely, let alone nothing that's washout material as of now. Scattered will be the name of the weather game. You know how it goes. Your neighbor down the street gets a thunderstorm. You're sitting there looking around and not getting a whole heck of a lot. 3-day threat track tomorrow. Into Thursday, into Friday, the steam really kicks into high gear. So you're going to look at your car thermometer. You're going to step outside, similar to what we had a few weeks ago, and you're going to think, my car thermometer is lying to me, because the humidity is going to be so high, it's going to feel a lot hotter than it actually is. And at any point, skies can open up with a shower or a thunderstorm over the next few days. We were just showing you that Friday forecast. High school football back in the bluegrass, obviously week 2 of the high school football season, kicking off with an isolated thunderstorm threat. But look at those temperatures, muggy middle 80s at kickoff. We roll our way toward the third quarter, fourth quarter, into the muggy upper 70s during that time. Steam bath of a 7-day forecast as we get ready to close the book on August. And meteorological summer will close as soon as August is wrapping up as well. Looks like we're going to send the month out on an appropriate note, guys, similar to how we've spent the past month, 2, 3, 4. A lot of humidity and the threat for a thunderstorm.
Well, despite all those thunderstorms and rain, I'm still not ready for summer to be over.
Aren't you?
No.
Well, Labor Day's just around the corner. If it means football, I say summer. Yeah. Nice knowing you. Get on out of here.
Maybe.
Huh?
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
Oh, they're about to clear the collision on North Lime at 6th Street. That was a non-injury. Not much of an impact there, but seeing slowdown still on the north side on the circle that we're dealing with. Drive times this afternoon should be holding our own to Nicholasville, still less than 15 minutes. Richmond looks pretty good, too, across the Clays Ferry Bridge. We're dealing with about 23 minutes and 16 to Georgetown. Now back to you in the studio.
Speaking of football, the Cats have finished fall camp and classes start tomorrow, Rob.
And the first day of class means no practice on Wednesday, so the players will get a break. But as for what was accomplished in fall camp, offensive coordinator Eddie Grand talked about it today. He brought up the word culture. Sports is next. With classes beginning tomorrow, the football Wildcats closing out fall camp today. Now it is on to game prep for that season opener against Southern Mississippi. Today, Eddie Grand says coming out of camp, his offense has depth at running back, wide receiver, and on the O-line. Also, Grand said one of the primary goals of the camp was achieved, a change in the culture inside UK football.
I don't know. I don't think it's me. I think it's everybody collectively with Coach Stoops and the culture. And he said it's time. It's time to grow up. It's time to finish. It's time to, you know, he's had a buttload of not, and you got to be accountable. And we've held him accountable. I think that we're going right from the head football coach.
His given name is Will Tom Collins, but ask anyone and they'll say his name is Taco Meat. Collins, a fullback out of Breathitt County, was told by Mark Stoops Sunday that he would be on scholarship. Collins said today that he was very excited about it all, but really nothing's changed.
The next morning when I got up after the night, obviously I was still excited, you know, and was loving everything that was, you know, going on. But I remember I came out to practice, and I thought to myself, I was just thinking it was going to be like practice is real easy now. This is the exact same stuff I've been doing, you know. So from that standpoint, yeah, Coach Stoops, as you know, I've been a walk-on here for 3 years, and he always has taken great care of the walk-ons. I never felt really, outside of the fact that I wasn't getting money, I never felt really that I was any different than anybody else on the team.
Morehead State quarterback Austin Gayhafer has been added to another watch list for the upcoming season. The reigning Pioneer Football League Offensive Player of the Year, now on the College Football Performance Awards National Player of the Year watch list for FCS teams. Gayhafer, a senior out of Louisville, already on another National Player of the Year watch list and is a preseason All-Pioneer League selection. Once again, Serena Williams and Novak Djokovic are the #1 seeds for the U.S. Open, which starts next week. Neither has played a match since early exits at the Rio Games. It is the 5th time that Serena has been the #1 seed. She has won the U.S. Open 6 times. And around the world, Olympians are returning home from Rio. Here are the U.S. women's gymnasts, the Final 5, taking in the iconic view from the Empire State Building, and it was a good one today. They were not sporting their Olympic gold medals, but they were basking in the glow of their performances at the Rio Games. Coming up in the next half hour, how does quarterback Drew Barker feel fall camp went? Stay with us. We'll continue here on WKYT after the break.